What is Eternum? The substance of legends.
Hold on a minute, I recognize that voice.
We understand each other. These boys and girls don't know what we know.
So, Amazon is making video games now, huh? Well, I guess the only question that we can ask ourselves now is this thing a cash grab piece of trash that nobody should touch with a 10-foot pole? Or is it actually a pretty good start for them to make something nice? Let's find out in this video. Swazula everybody, and welcome to my first impressions aka / honest review kind of video thing. In any case, you will be getting my honest opinion, but before we get into my honest opinion about New World, my first impression, all that stuff, I'm known as a very honest guy. I give you guys the no BS, straight to the point kind of, well, I don't get to the point straight. You get the gist of it. I'm honest is what I'm trying to get to, okay? I don't really care if big name companies try to give me a lot of money, like for example Raid Shadow Legends, for me to claim that the game is awesome when everybody knows that it's not. I don't do that. I don't play that. What I do is I just give you guys the actual honest opinion so that you guys can actually rely on somebody's word out of this internet of a bunch of fakers, right? And yeah, so my object at the moment is New World, and I want to give you guys my honest opinion about the game and first impression, because I got my hands on it thanks to some fellow Tenshiro stream team members. Also, don't tell our Captain Relentless End that I said Tenshiro, because it's actually 10-0, but I keep on saying Tenshiro because it sounds awesome. So don't tell him that. No tattletaling. Anyways, for some little context, what kind of a gamer am I? Because me giving my honest opinion about this game may mean nothing to you. How do you evaluate it? You know, how do you bestow value on my opinion? Well, that's why I want to give you a little bit of context, so bear with me, so you can understand what kind of a player I actually am. Well, for one, I don't usually like MMORPG game titles. Emphasis on usually. Now, I did see many years ago Black Desert Online being teased, and I fell in love with it and wanted to play it. I waited 2 years until it was released. Once it finally was, I got it, and I was massively disappointed. Why? Because Black Desert Online is the most new player unfriendly game ever released in existence. It was an atrocious mess. So after my BDO disappointment, I soon after found out through a friend about Guild Wars 2. I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's not really my style, but okay, I guess I'll give it a shot. And I did, and I fell in love with Guild Wars 2. Why? Well, because Guild Wars 2 was actually very digestible and was super charming and had attention to detail. Great. Jizo, why are you talking about Guild Wars 2 and Black Desert Online in a video that's supposed to be about New World? Well, because there's some context. As I just mentioned, Guild Wars 2 was very easy to get into and was very charming and had attention to detail, whereas Black Desert Online was kind of the opposite, at least in terms of getting into it. It's very complicated and just complex and a big mess, right? If we were to hypothetically say that Guild Wars 2 is #1 easiest MMORPG to get into for a new player to the genre, then I think we can honestly say that New World has dethroned that. And now, with that provided context, I'll get into the actual game. The footage that you're looking at in the background is low settings, so if you think that the game doesn't look super crisp or anything, that'd be why. I'm playing it on low settings because while running OBS and recording it, my GPU is complaining a little bit. I'm running it on a 1070. I streamed it with no problem the other day on medium and had no issues. It just seems for recording that the encoding isn't very happy. I'm mentioning this because there have been reports of this game actually frying GTX 3090s or 3070s, one of those two or both, I don't know which one exactly, and that would really suck if that happens to you, but I'm just telling you right now, I'm running it on a 1070 with no issues. And I do have it on low. I don't see much of an issue between, or much of a difference between low and medium. You might, I don't know, for me this looks fine and I don't mind running it on low forever. So just keep that in mind. Now, New World is, like I mentioned, a Amazon-made MMORPG game. It has combat style that is somewhat comparable to the likes of Dark Souls, as in you kinda have to time your attacks a little bit, and more so dodge a little bit and learn your enemy patterns. As an example, if you just charge in and hack and slash at an enemy level that is equivalent to you or even a little bit higher, you will not have a very good time. However, if you do, kind of watch out what your opponent is doing and you dodge at the right moment and then, put in a couple hits and then back away and just wait for the best opportunity, then it'll be very, very good. No problem at all, right? So the combat is kind of comparable to something like Dark Souls. It feels really good though. Now, what I find amazing about New World is how they manage to grab a new player, even if you're new to MMOs or just new to this specific game, doesn't matter, how they grab a new player and slowly guide you into the game and release you out into the wild to do things on your own. It feels very intuitive. It isn't actually intuitive, it's artificial intuition, but they just do a very good job at explaining how the mechanics of the game work so that you know how to open which menu or when to open which menu, where you equip what and how you use it, how to upgrade and everything, which now that I'm naming everything like a list, it might seem a little bit daunting, but trust me, I'm a dumbass when it comes to new games, and New World made it very, very easy. You play the game for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4, 5 minutes, and it feels kind of tutorial-like, and after that you feel like you're a master at the game because you just kind of know how everything works because it does a very good job at explaining that, like I just said. And I really like that. And then when you get into the game where you're a little bit more on your own and the game isn't holding your hand anymore, which doesn't take very long, by the way, then you can really tell how elegantly they got the combat system, including the abilities and how you unlock them and equip them and mix match them and side grades that they have and all that, how they make that whole system very, very, very simple, but at the same time not dull or boring or mundane. It's actually very fun, to me at least. I found it very, very fun and very intuitive, which I've mentioned. I'm going to be repeating myself very often in this video. If anybody's bothered by that, then I apologize, but I am just trying to get the emotional point across. Because ultimately, what we're going to ask ourselves about this game is it worth our time? And more importantly, probably for some of you, is it worth my money? So far, according to my experience, yeah, it probably is. I really like this game. I will be streaming it on Twitch as well. You can find in the description my Twitch channel as well. The link is down there, and links to everything else that might be relevant to me that you might be interested in if you want to get a live view of the game. In any case, after the game gets you to where you can kind of go out on your own and do your own thing, it has factions, it has a very, very, very nice social hub. Like I said, the game, the main thing that really hit me about this game is just how simple it is, but not be boring at the same time, which I think is a fairly difficult task to achieve, right? So talking about the UI, you got the social hub, for example, that is just really, really nice, and just by looking at it and just, acknowledging every bit of information that's there, you'll very easily understand it. You have colorized categories for your group chat, for your global chat, for whatever chats, and you can decide which ones you see dominantly at all times and stuff like that. It's very, very easy to socialize. It's very easy to form groups and all that stuff. It's just really, really nice. In fact, all of the UI, in my opinion, is very intuitive. It's very understandable. At first glance, you're like, okay, let's have a look here. What am I looking at? And then if you just read a little bit, you very easily figure out, oh, okay, I get it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know what I mean? And that is really nice and, dare I say, untypical for MMOs. So in that regard, it definitely did a good job. However, not everything about this game is hunky-dory. I honestly have to say I struggle to find anything about this game thus far that I really hate or that I would say is terrible or really, really bad. Like I said, thus far, I haven't found anything super bad. By far, the worst thing about the game is the server connectivity. When I first started playing the game, I did it with a couple of streamer friends who were also streaming it at the time, and we disconnected several times. We were forced to create new characters so that we could join other worlds or other servers in the game and see if those servers would work better, which they initially did, and then those also started to crash and stuff like that. The last time I played the game, however, I didn't have any of those issues. I disconnected one time, which you'll even see in this footage probably, and I got back into the game, no problem, easy peasy. So you also have to keep in mind the game is closed beta. I doubt that it's going to be a feature that the game is going to have janky servers. So I think we can assume that that is going to be fixed if it hasn't already been improved upon since me recording this video. So that's definitely not amazing, but forgivable, I would say, because, you know, closed beta. The game is supposed to be released on August 31st. I don't know if that is necessarily a good idea, if they have janky servers until then still, because I'm pretty sure it'll piss off a lot of people because it is very inconvenient, especially if you're eager to try a new game and then you're greeted with something that doesn't work properly. That is really annoying. That aside though, I really don't see much issue. Well, I mean, melting graphics cards that are in their 30s or something like that isn't really great either, but I assume that that's not going to be for everybody. Hopefully, that'd be crazy. And if so, that is going to be patched really quickly. A thing for the future, the game does not have any mounts. It desperately needs mounts though. There are no plans currently for New World to introduce mounts anytime soon. That doesn't mean anything though. Like I just said, the game desperately needs mounts. It has a perfect setting to have mounts. It doesn't make any sense that the game doesn't have any or will never have any. So I would implore toward Amazon Games to actually invest the time and make mounts, because they are definitely desperately necessary. Now don't worry, you're not going to be spending hours jogging from one area to the next, but there is a lot of walking and traveling involved, and there is quick travel, but it's not always available to you for whatever reason, or I'm just a dum-dum and can't find out how to do it. But generally speaking, you will be spending quite a bit of time walking about 500 meters into the next area, or sometimes a little bit more or a little bit less, and that can get a little bit even with auto walk. I don't think that there is auto pathing, so you can't actually press a button and make your character walk to the next location on their own, like you could in Black Desert Online, for example. At least I haven't seen any feature like that, but all that aside, it's still no deal breaker. Just be ready for that. And I would also very much recommend, or would like to see, this game to have a free trial on release. So something along the lines of, hey, you can play until you're level 10 or something like that, free of charge, as a demo. Demos are way too fucking rare this day and age in the gaming industry. Demos need to be normalized once again. I'm not seeing enough games doing demos, because with New World, honestly, I don't think that you can really go wrong with it, but it is 40-50-ish bucks, and if you do buy the game and you wind up not really liking it all that much, regardless of what I say or what your impression is from videos that you've seen and such, then that would just kind of suck regardless, right? But I would recommend that you guys either stop by one of my streams or anybody else who's streaming the game right now. My stream specifically, you can ask me questions about it and I'll try to answer them. I'll try to look into stuff specifically for you, no problem. Like I said, link is in the description, you can find it, no problem. I would very much recommend you guys just hold off and wait and see how the whole thing develops. If there is anything else mention worthy that I find out about the game, or some new development in the game in terms of news, I will let you guys know, but you can rest assured that I will definitely be streaming this game from time to time as we approach toward release. And I really do like this game so far. It did leave a very good first impression on me, despite its not so fun server issues that it had occasionally. Again though, it's not a deal breaker. I do like the game. It's very easy to get into. If you've never ever in your life tried an MMO ever, but you'd kind of like to at some point, then New World might be just the thing for you, I have to say. So that's all that I have to say about the game so far. That's all I've got. An honest opinion, is it actual dog shit? No. Is it amazing? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know if amazing is the right word, but it is definitely pretty good. I do like what I saw so far. What about you guys? Have you played the game before at some point? Do you also have a closed beta key or not? What was your impression? How about the videos that you've seen so far? What do you think about the footage? Let me know your opinions. What would you like to see? And yeah, just share your opinions with me, guys. I want to know. Stay healthy and stay safe. And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe to the shitty channel. And of course, fuck off.